Colonel John Mills, a senior fellow at the Center for Security Policy these days, I'm very happy to say. He is also a man with considerable background and the scars to prove it in the administrative state and the bureaucratic wars that take place there. And we're talking about a ruling, it's called Jarchese versus the SEC, just handed down by the Fifth Circuit this week, and presumably on a fast track to consideration next session by the Supreme Court. But John, you've indicated that something that has been growing like topsy, and I think it actually predates that administrative law of '46 that I think you referred to. It really took hold during the Franklin Delano Roosevelt administration in the run up to World War II, the Great Depression, and so on. But it has just mushroomed ever since. And talk a little bit about, John, from personal and experience, how this has affected the balance of power envisioned and enshrined in our constitutional government.
Well, yeah, it's called a public comment period. So, for example, when I was in the Office of Secretary of Defense, we had new rules on handling of unclassified but sensitive information in the interchange between the U.S. government and contractors and others interacting with the U.S. government. And we had to go through all these public comment periods, which is essentially an instantiation of the 1946 APA, which I would say actually codified everything that had been going on in the 30s under Roosevelt.
Well, there you go. Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay, we're a gargantuan bureaucracy, the largest single thingy in the world, the U.S. government. It's become the Byzantine Empire. I mean, it's impossible for any mere mortal to make sense out of it. But it has set up all these private courts, and we're not even talking about the FISA court and that nonsense. But now that I think of it, maybe even the FISA court might come under might fall under this ruling here. But the SEC, one thing that's close to my heart is the intellectual property and protecting intellectual property. And with the 2011 the Innovation Act, I can't remember the exact name. It's a horrible, horrible act. Never trust a nice sounding piece of legislation. But in the Patent and Trademark Office, it's set up this essentially court system that's not really a court, that essentially was big tech's ability to crush up and coming innovators. And the innovators, I mean, China kept the US model. We destroyed our model in 2011. And all the legislators and Obama are going, hooray. And it crushed innovation, and it pushed people to want to actually go get their patents in China because they were keeping the model. We destroyed our model. This would turn the money changers table over on that
Mm.
topic at the Patent and Trademark Office. I think would be significant there.
It would be indeed. And as you say, I think the ripple effects throughout the bureaucracy would be profound. Let's hope it makes its way to the Supreme Court and is upheld. And if so, that we will see this kind of, fundamental, reversal, I guess, of the non-delegation doctrines withering over the years. This is something that's I think going to help restore our government and hopefully get it back to accountability, among other things. John, let me turn to one last topic with you before we run out of time. Of course, there has been a spate of these mass shootings in the United States. Um, we were talking earlier about the impact in Canada with Christine Douglas Williams. Justin Trudeau, the prime minister, has used the pretext of these shootings here to disarm his population in Canada. It's unbelievable. But I'm interested in your thoughts about efforts that are underway now to try to use these as pretexts to limit, circumscribe, diminish at least our Second Amendment freedoms under the Constitution of the United States, its Bill of Rights. Um, Gun control is the favored technique for doing that. Your thoughts on its advisability and workability?
Well, proper gun control, first of all, is using both hands or a bipod, preferably. So let's get that out of the way here. But these rights shall not be infringed. Okay, this is and by the way, everybody who shouts gun control is so smart they're stupid. Why have we had this horrible tragedies on schools? Well, because they have all these signs that say gun free. Where do all the crazies go? Any place there's a gun free. That's where all the crazies go. They're so smart they're stupid. Look at the evidence. The evidence is that the crazies are going there. And also, there is a huge nexus between mental health issues and gun violence, period, but especially gun violence. Huge nexus. And those who demand gun control refuse to address the mental health aspect, except try to squeeze in where, if you even sneeze, the police, that's a symptom of mental health issues, and therefore the police can come in and take your weapons. No, this is actually a very serious matter for healthcare experts, for mental health experts, and they have to acknowledge. And they're actually, if you look through the FBI statistics and the Center for Disease Control statistics, there is a huge connection between
Yes.
mental health issues and gun violence. So, got to
Well,
take care of that.
I worry about, as you say, John, that the cynical manipulation of mental health, red flag, and the like will prove to be a problem in its own right. And I just have to add, John, in a commentary I did recently, I pointed out that background checks is another idea, universal background checks, and how we could possibly do that in practice when you have 2 million, mostly military age young men who've come into this country illegally, whose background we have no clue about,
Yeah.
and any means of actually ferreting it out. It makes a mockery of all of these kinds of compromises to try to fix the problem. John, this is a topic to which we will return with you, I hope, in the very near future. It's important that we get this right. Obviously, we don't want to see this carnage continue, but we don't want to make it worse, including by disarming the law abiding American citizens. We have to leave it at that. Come back to us again soon. I hope the rest of you will do the same. And in practicing what you've heard here, protecting the country we love, and then go forth and multiply.